All right, let's talk about something pretty much all of us use every single day, making calls over the internet. You probably know it as voice over IP, or VoIP. It has totally changed the game for how we communicate, but it also opens up a really important question that we need to answer.
So, yeah, you heard that right. Over 30 million businesses, not to mention countless individuals, are using this stuff. And that begs the big question. Just how secure are these conversations we're having? The convenience is amazing, no doubt about it. But what risks are hiding just under the surface?
To really get to the bottom of this, we're digging into a fantastic report from Virtualization Options LLC. They're a technology research and advisory firm based out of Colorado, and their work does a great job breaking down the incredible benefits and the very real dangers of VoIP.
Okay, so first up, the VoIP revolution. Before we dive into the scary stuff, we've got to appreciate just how and why this technology completely took over the world.
And when I say it took over, I mean it. Check this out. 1.5 billion users. Let that number sink in. This isn't some niche product. It's a global standard for how we talk to each other.
And you know what happens when that many people use something, right? The money follows. We're talking about a global market that's on track to be worth an absolutely massive $100 billion by 2025. It's a true financial giant.
And it's not like it's slowing down either. Nope, it's still expanding at a compound annual growth rate of over 10%. That is some serious, sustained growth, year after year.
A huge driver of that growth is the business world. As we mentioned, more than 30 million companies have already made the switch, depending on VoIP for pretty much all their communications. So what's the big deal? Why did everyone jump on the bandwagon? Well, the appeal really boils down to 4 huge wins. First, the cost savings are just enormous. You get to ditch expensive hardware and forget about long-distance fees. Second, the flexibility is a game changer. Your office phone is basically anywhere you have an internet connection. Third, it really boosts productivity by tying everything together. And finally, the features are just better. Things like call recording or getting your voicemails sent to your email, your old landline could only dream of that.
Okay, but all that convenience and power comes with a price. Now we have to look at the other side of the coin, the hidden dangers that this revolution created.
And here's the catch, right? The very thing that makes VoIP so awesome, the fact that your voice is just data traveling over the public internet, is also what makes it such a tempting target. Its popularity is actually its biggest weakness. The report from Virtualization Options breaks down the threats into 3 main buckets we all need to understand. You've got eavesdropping and interception. Then there are denial of service or DOS attacks, which are all about just shutting you down completely. And finally, unauthorized access. Let's dig into each of these. So first, let's talk about eavesdropping. I mean, think about it. Using tools that are pretty widely available, attackers can literally listen in on your private phone calls or video meetings. We're talking sensitive business strategies, financial info, personal details. It's the modern-day equivalent of a wiretap.
Next up, those denial of service attacks. Here's a good way to picture it. Imagine someone programs thousands of robocallers to dial your company's main phone number all at once, nonstop. No real customer calls could ever get through, right? Well, that's basically what a DOS attack does to a VoIP system. It just overwhelms the server with junk, and poof, your real calls start failing, and communication just grinds to a halt.
Okay, so that all sounds pretty bad, I get it. But here's the good news, you are not powerless here. There is absolutely a clear playbook for how to defend your conversation.
So let's crack open that playbook. The Virtualization Options report lays out a really smart, multi-layered strategy for building a strong defense around your communications.
The big idea here is that security isn't just one thing. It's about layers. So at the network level, you need a strong firewall to filter out junk and an intrusion detection system. You also want to separate your voice traffic from all your other network traffic. Then, at the application level, you have to encrypt all your call data, and I mean all of it. Plus, you've got to enforce strong passwords. No more password 123. And maybe the most important layer, the user. Regular security training is critical because your team is your first line of defense.
Let's just zoom in on encryption for a second, because this is so vital. See, every call actually has 2 different parts you have to protect. First, there's the signaling. That's the data that sets up the call, manages it, and tears it down.
You protect that with a protocol called TLS. Second is the media itself, the actual audio and video of your conversation. You protect that with something called SRTP. You have to secure both. It is not an either-or situation.
So, what's next? In the world of cybersecurity, things never ever stand still, and that's especially true for VoIP. Let's take a look at where this is all headed. The future of VoIP security is basically a constant high-stakes arms race. On one side, you have attackers who are always finding new ways in, always devising new tactics. But on the other side, the defenders are getting some incredible new tools. Things like artificial intelligence and machine learning are now being used to create smarter, more adaptive defenses that can actually spot and stop an attack before it happens.
The Virtualization Options report really puts a fine point on it with this quote. The future isn't just about building higher walls, it's about building smarter defenses. It's about fully embracing AI to detect threats and using the latest and greatest encryption to stay one step ahead.
And all of this brings us to a final, really important thought to leave you with. As AI becomes a major player on both sides of this security battle, used by attackers and defenders alike, it brings up a pretty profound question. In this new era, will our digital conversations ever be truly private again? That's something to think about. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.